Okay, so I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to dive in. There might be people joining us while I'm already talking. So if you guys catch that, let me know. I'm going to leave my audio on so I can hear the ding when they come in too. But today's session is actually going to be extremely tactical and valuable. We are going to talk about how to build offers using proven offer frameworks. This framework it comes from guys like Myron Golden, Russell Brunson, Daniel Priestley. If you don't know who those are, but they're gurus in our space. By our space, I mean the marketing space. And they have a lot of data behind the model for the offer framework. So we're going to talk about that. But before we dive into the offer framework, I do want to cover what we've done so far in the Visibility Transformation Challenge. So we started with goal alignment, and then we did the business one-liner. And I know at least everybody on this call has crafted a business one-liner, at least taken a stab at it. Hopefully you have refined it, finalized it, and it is now part of your brand influence kit. We also spent some time crafting an ideal customer persona, and it gave you a very detailed framework for how to do that. And so now that should be an asset that is in your brand influence kit as well. Then we actually talked about brand influence kits, and I gave you an entire structure, knowing full well that we probably didn't have all of those assets built out for our businesses at this point, but having the directory structure set up on your computer, as you build these things, you can start filling up those folders with those brand assets. And assets is really the right word because they are documented, they are all in one place. And as most of us being in service businesses, unlike businesses that have physical assets, we are often challenged in valuing our businesses because people think you have services, but you don't have a lot of physical assets. But the assets that you build around your business, the content that you develop, the frameworks, the scripts, the proprietary approaches, all of those things have value, but they have value only if they are documented and they are part of what your business brings to the table. So that's why having that brand influence kit structure and then starting to build and add to it where it's all in one place, it's outside of your head, it's actually documented and put in a single place that becomes an asset in your business. And Steve Denny, he does business valuation, business brokerage, that sort of thing. So he wasn't on the call when I taught that one, but when I put the recording out on YouTube, he actually commented on the YouTube video and he's like, yes, you need to do this. Pay attention to what she said. So if you haven't already built out your directory structure for your brand influence kit, or if you missed that session, go back. And I do have those resources in the Facebook group. I'm just going to jump over here. And if you go to files, that's all in here. So the whole entire directory structure is there that you can download and then replicate on your computer to build it. And then in the last session where we got together, we talked about how to create and train a custom GPT for your business and for your brand. Hopefully you have done that. If you haven't done that yet, the step-by-step instructions on how to do it are also in the files in the Facebook group. And then the video of the training is also online. So today we're going to talk about crafting powerful offers that convert. But I also want to talk, before we dive into that, about how to prioritize things that are missing from the kit. Because I think I gave you probably 30 folders of stuff that you would populate in the brand influence kit, which can feel very overwhelming. And I know sometimes when we feel overwhelmed by the amount to do, it causes us to freeze and not do much of anything. So I want to bring focus back around, okay, all of these things are important, but there's a priority, and the priority is things that move the needle. So when it comes to small business growth, it comes to small business sales, all of that stuff, there's generally three core. Oh, geez, I don't know what that was. That didn't sound good though. The wind just came up and something hit the house. All right. So anyway, it's not enough visibility or content around promoting your business. It's inconsistent messaging and lack of clarity and no clear offer or structure and pricing. So we're going to talk about the clear offer today. So instead of trying to do everything that is in that brand influence kit right out of the top, what I really want to bring focus to is that clarity, the clarity around what you sell and why people should buy it, and then your messaging and positioning, making sure that you've got marketing that speaks to the right people, so your ideal customer persona, and is pervasive, meaning people can find you. Like the biggest challenge we as small business owners generally have is people knowing that we exist. And I can pretty much guarantee that you are not doing enough to get your business out there. It's true of 99.9% of all small business owners. So I want you to just reflect for a second, like of these things, what's one thing that's stopping you from selling as much as you want to today? It'll probably be different for everybody that's watching the recording or is on the call live. But in reality, do people really know you exist? In your marketplace, the number of potential clients you have, do they really know about you? Let's be honest. Do they? It's a legitimate question. So here's a check-in. And we're not going to do this in real time right now, but I want you to go back and do it when we get done. So I want you to go look at your content. So you signed up for the Visibility Transformation Challenge, and I want you to take an honest look at what you've done since we started. So how many social media posts have you made? How many blogs or articles have you written in your space to try to start building your expertise and your credibility? Have you done any videos? And in the absence of any of these other things, have you run ads? Ultimately, if you know me and my philosophy around marketing, I want to get people off of the dependence on ads, because ads, when you get into ads and you depend on ads to do all this stuff for you, you're committed. Like you cannot get out of the ad spend cycle. So by doing all this organic stuff, the social media posts, the blogs, the articles, the videos, it's a lot of effort up front, but it ultimately eliminates the dependence on the high ad spend so that people know about you. So once you get those numbers, then I want you to evaluate, like, what did they say when you made your posts? Were they valuable and helpful to your ideal client? Or were they self-focused about you, your business, or just selling? And were they, when you're thinking about if they are of value to people, were you interrupting people? Like they go to social media to learn or to be entertained when they're scrolling. And if they just see buy my service, that's just, it's called interruption marketing, and it's not effective. And then I want you to take an inventory. So like of all the stuff that you did, how much of it actually provided value, how much of it was selling, and then the number of posts that actually engaged your ideal clients' pain points, and then take a look at the results. So did they get any engagement? What did your sales look like as a result? And then an honest reflection of, was it enough? Are you actually doing enough to truly grow your business the way you want to grow it? The hard truth is you're probably not doing enough. And the number, I was being conservative. I'm like, you really need to do more of it. And I'm going to say at least 25 times more, but it's probably more like 100 times more. But let's go with 25 because I don't want to stress you out. And I'm going to be real. I'm going to show you, these are my numbers. So I do a lot, but I have not done enough since January 1st. And I'm being completely transparent with my numbers, my sales, everything. So here's what I've done since January 1st. I've done 11 and a half hours of long form instructional video for YouTube. We as MSW as a company has done 1,452 business value posts. I've done 18 shorts, 5 long form blogs, which is a big fail in my book. I should really be doing at least once a week. And we've got about 7 to 8 weeks under our belt. No, 8, we got 10 weeks under our belt. So at least one a week, more than one a week is ideal. I did 70 personal brand posts, so 73 on my personal page. I've written 3 lead magnets for MSW, and I finished 1 book on SEO, but I haven't promoted it yet. And these are my actual numbers. I just looked them up today. So year to date, so January, February, and almost 2 weeks into March, I've done $247,000 in sales versus last year at this time, $203,000 in sales, which is a 22% increase, which is great. These numbers are good. They're better than they were last year as far as what I've done on the promotion side, but they're not good enough. So even though we're a 22% increase from the previous year, my goal for this year, my revenue goal, I'm behind. So I should be at least $360,000 in revenue right now to meet my end of year goal. So I don't know if this seems like a lot to you, like all the stuff that I've done for MSW, but it's clearly not enough. It's not a comparison game, but I just want to give you context. This is what I've done. How much have you done for your business? And this includes no paid ads. This is just content, organic content that we've put out there as a company. So it's worth doing that inventory versus your sales and tracking, because I guarantee as you do more, and if you correlate your sales and top line revenue with it, it's going to be higher. The more you do, the more revenue you'll draw to your business. And I'm gonna remind you that I want you to feel free as we're going through this, interrupt, ask questions. And Jeff, you just came in. I was just reviewing what we've done up to this point, and we were talking about doing a social media inventory of things that you've done. So I was just being transparent with my numbers. So what you're looking at here is what we've done for MSW directly, and how that's done according to top line revenue through the first 2.5 months of the year. I'm going to shift gears, and this was kind of an aha moment that I had with my business coach. And we as small business owners suffer from undervaluing ourselves all the time. We tend to charge prices that we think people can afford instead of pricing the services at the value that they bring. So I just want to do a mental reset before we start talking about building an offer, because the offer includes price. And so I want you to rethink your pricing. So people perceive higher prices as higher value. They really do. And if you are underpricing or pricing yourself too low, you are signaling lower quality, less credibility, and weaker results. And I am a small business owner, and I struggled with this. My company is 26 years old, and I spent 24 years way undervaluing my services by my price. I started raising my prices because I got a business coach, but I still push back. I'm like, but my ideal client is small business and they can't afford it. And he's like, that's really arrogant of you to assume they can't afford it. Is it worth this or is it not? And like, he just really pushed back on me. And so I've struggled with it. The thing is that when we're pricing our services, the price that you choose should reflect the true value of what you bring to the table and the results that you deliver, instead of basing your price on what you think people can afford. And this is what my coach said to me. Is like, if your price makes you uncomfortable, you're probably getting closer to what it's actually worth. So I'm going to talk to you about the pricing change that he forced me to make, and it'll come in a couple of slides. And I'm going to say force gently, but he's just like, look, here's what you need to do. And so I'm going to share this with you because I'm going to encourage you to do the same thing with your pricing and your services. So to offers, we can be out on social media we can be omnipresent. Everybody knows about us, but if we don't have a clear offer and a very easy way for people to buy that offer, nothing else matters. So your offer is really key. There are multiple levels of offers. We're going to talk about that on the next call. So what I'm talking about today is your core offer, the core offer that you bring to the table and sell. And somebody's coming in. Oh, Jeremy's coming back. So we're going to talk about your core offer, and we're going to talk about how to build that offer in a way that it is not only a great offer and easy to understand, but it becomes irresistible. So if you don't have a notebook or a piece of paper or something to write on, I want you to go grab that really quick, because we're actually going to build the offer together as we go through the slides. I'm going to ask you to think about a core service that you bring to the table, and we're going to work through the steps and the framework for the offer. And I'm going to have you actually build it and write it as we're talking through it. So here's the offer optimization framework that we're going to use. So every high converting offer has the following things. Number one, a clear transformation. So what results do people get from the thing that you're selling? Is it, if you're in the home watch or security business, is it peace of mind? If you're in the coaching business, what kind of transformation is it? If you're in the web design business like me, in the marketing business, what's the transformation in the minds of a business owner? It's usually findability and leads. So what is it? What's the transformation that they get from your offer? And then what kind of value stack do you have to go with the offer? So this is where most small businesses fail, just generally from lack of knowledge or thinking about it. We want to have a value stack that brings so much added value to the table that it becomes very hard to resist. And then your pricing justification. So between your core price and the value stack, when you bring the value stack into play, it just seems like it's an incredible deal. Like, why wouldn't you? You can't say no. It's too good of a deal. And then a strong guarantee. So we want to make sure that there's some kind of a guarantee that removes risks or hesitation. And a lot of small businesses leave this piece out too, because they're afraid that they might have to do a refund or something that they can't afford to do. They can't back up their results. But we want to get rid of that fear, because you all are very good at what you do. You're the best at what you do, or you wouldn't be here. Like, you're learning, you're growing, you're doing all these things to make your business better. So you can guarantee what you do, right? And there's different ways to write guarantees that will help people convert better. And then a compelling call to action. And in the website business, most business owners leave this off too. Like, they sell, give all the benefits, everything is on their website. Maybe the offer's good, maybe it's clear, maybe it's not. But then they leave off, how do I buy it? Okay, I'm convinced. What's the next thing that I have to do? So clear transformation, a value stack, pricing justification, a strong guarantee, and a compelling call to action. Before I go into detail, questions so far, or comments or thoughts around anything that I've shared? And I can't see you, so just talk if you do, or otherwise I'm just going to move on. Okay. All right. So let's just go into step one. So the first part is to define the problem and the transformation. So I want to make this a little interactive. You don't have to share, but I'm going to ask you to if you're willing to. Number one, what's the pain point that your offer solves? And what's the before and after transformation for your client? So I really want you to think about it. I want you to write it down. So we're going to go through this exercise as we're going through these slides. And I'm going to ask for a share before I go on to the next slide. Jeremy, you're on camera. You mind sharing yours?
Yeah, not a problem.
Okay.
I didn't realize I was on camera. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, goodness. Yeah, I think where I'm at is the group I'm working with most is a group that provides inventory management services for clients or for optometrists, basically, and ophthalmologists. And so the pain point that they're having is reduced, is increased costs due to mismanaged inventory, and minimizing losses, of course, is the resolution of having this platform in place. Before, it is inventory chaos, I would say, is what it looks like before.
Mm-hmm.
And after, it's scanning 1,000 frames in 10 minutes.
Okay.
Or so that's what the transformation looks like. So, count it hours, 10 hours of effort down to 10 minutes.
Nice. Nice. Okay. So the formula then, can you put that into a sentence? I help fill in the blank, ideal client go from here to here by providing this solution.
Yeah, sure. I help optometrists, or let's say here, I help optometric professionals go from, let's see here, my brain's not, go from mismanaging inventory and losing revenue and
Doesn't have to be perfect. You're doing good.
yeah, and I would just say, and managing costs or mismanaging inventory and mismanaging costs to having an inventory expert in the form of a SaaS platform. I don't know. I'm
I
trying.
get where you're going. So you help them go from inventory chaos that costs them a ton of money to a system that improves efficiency, inventory, and revenue by providing whatever the platform is that you bring to the table or the training you bring to the table. That
Yeah,
kind of it.
much more eloquently said than the person who's supposed to know it. Yeah, very well. Thank you very much. Why they pay you the big bucks. Thank you.
Tim, how about you? You want to give it a whirl?
Sure. Yeah, the pain point for my clients is obviously not knowing what's going on at their vacation home here at Lake of the Ozarks.
Mm-hmm.
And so then before it's probably just stress and not knowing. And then I would say that after is that they'll get detailed electronic reports with photos. And it's also visual to where you don't have to go through, if your tailored report is very long, you just look over to the side, and if it's in green, obviously that's good. And if it's in red, then, oh, hey, they can, so then this way they can just go to something that they actually need to take a look at. Probably the formula, let's see. I help vacation homeowners go from sleepless nights to spending more lake time with their family and friends.
Okay. And I'm just going to ask a question out of curiosity. Is it that they're spending more time with their family and friends, or is it peace of mind knowing that their home is in good working order while they're not there?
Yeah, you have both, but it's definitely peace of mind is the first step that they get. And like I said, they don't have to worry about what's going on. And and if we, for a lot of times, we're also having contractors and so forth come in before. For a number of them, they might be snowbirds, or they just come in during the summertime. And so we get those contractors in during the off season, get all that work done, so they're not having to deal with that during the lake time.
Yeah. Great. Okay. So step one, we define the problem and the transformation. And now step two is we're going to stack the value. So things that we can bring to the table that bring value and enables us to more comfortably charge the price that we really should be charging for our service. So why should they buy from you instead of the competitor? And what makes your offer feel like a no-brainer? Like it's impossible to say no. So your core offer is the thing that you just described. And now what bonuses could you add? Something that speeds up results, something that is a tool, a guide, or extra support, maybe an exclusive upgrade or VIP access or direct access to you. What are those in your business? What are some things that you either already have or could easily create or create a system for to bring to the table that support the core offer? Speeding up the results gives them extra tools to get better results from what you're bringing to the table, and then some kind of upgrade or VIP access. So while you're thinking about that and writing that down, thoughts for your business, I'll just say, like in mine, my core offer is my performance marketing program with the website redesign. So now I'm gonna share this with you, because this is where I was pressed by my business coach, who's Mike McAllowitz, author of Profit First and several other business books. So my core offer for our performance marketing program, which includes a website redesign, was $950 plus $1,295 per month for a year, and then month to month after that. On my call with Mike, Mike's like, so I don't really understand what you're doing here, because they're basically getting a website for free, and it's to be a really good website that ranks well, drives leads, and is going to grow through the entire year, all while you're running all these marketing services for them at the same time for $1,295 a month. And he's like, let's just add a zero to that $950. And I'm like, wait, what? And I had to get rid of that limiting belief. He's like, what are you thinking? People pay $10, $15, $20,000 for websites all the time. You need to get comfortable with charging the value of what you're bringing to the table. And then you need to get comfortable with the story around why it matters, why it's so effective, and why it's a game changer in their business, because you know it is. And I'm like, yeah, it is. He's like, what the hell are you doing? So this is where someone helps you reframe your thinking on price. So even though I'm like, I just built this bigger package and I'm finally not undercharging for my services, he's like, oh, yeah, you are. Yeah, you are, Sandy. So we're revamping. So I'm actually now going through this exercise with you. So I'm sharing this stuff with you because I want your feedback too, by the way. So this is new. So what if we did a performance marketing program with the full website redesign? It's $9,500 for the full website redesign, unlimited pages, whatever it takes to get you to rank, get the conversions, get all the stuff, plus the subscription. Bonuses we bring to the table. So as I'm going through these are just an example. I want you to think about what it is in your business that you bring to the table to bring additional value and effectiveness to your offer. So for me, bonus number one, an ongoing SEO optimization package. I just sent out a newsletter yesterday about Google's core algorithm update, meaning what used to work last year, Google has now adjusted their algorithm. And so there's blogs we've written, there's things we've done because Google was looking at this last year. Now we need to go in and we need to go revamp some of the stuff for our clients because of what Google has changed. So the bonuses, they don't have to pay for that. We're including it, right? And then a 360-day content strategy guide, 12 one-on-one strategy and coaching calls with me. So one a month, $500 value for an hour each time. And then I was talking with Mike about this, and he's like, as long as they're a client and they're paying for the subscription and you built the original website, really they should be redesigning their website every couple of years because things change in not only SEO, but in style.
Hey, Sandy, I don't know if you can hear me, but you have frozen up, and I am waiting on the edge of my seat for more information. Come back.
Jeff, I think she did that on purpose.
It was me, wasn't it?
I really do. I think she did it on purpose to make sure that we were paying attention.
Yep, that is marketing 101 right there.
And if it were me, when I come back on the call, I'm going to ask the group where I left off. I'm just going to ask.
Right? You give a little bit and then it's scarcity.
Yep.
I wonder if that's her bonus offer number 1. Is this piece of a small piece of the information. And then if you want more.
I love that.
Connect to this link.
Subscribe.
Yeah.
It looks like it's still recording us.
Yeah, so she'll get to hear it all. That's great. That's great. I do find a lot of value in what she's sharing here about we tend to undervalue our services more than overvalue them. Like we think we shouldn't charge as much as what we're probably worth. So I'm glad she's receiving that counsel from Mike because I think it's spot on. And it's a good reminder for me too.
Agreed.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you on that. I know I'm in the same situation, especially having finished up our first year and you kind of try to get things going. But yeah, the value that each of our businesses bring is, I know for me, I'm way undervalued where I need to be.
Why do you?
Sometimes it could be maybe I believe in what I do, but sometimes it's like, well, sometimes I think you get, okay, this person, maybe they just need some help. And you try to be generous and you do that. And then, sometimes it might be, well, I'm just not sure. I think the unknown of exactly what the market will allow. And maybe sometimes it might even be complete confidence in your skill set.
So are you saying, oh, by the way, Sandy just texted saying that her internet just dropped. And so she's working on fixing that.
Sure.
Are you saying that we tend to undervalue our services because we want to help? So we're passionate about making the impact and there is an uncertainty about what the market will hold. And then there's confidence in either our product or our abilities. Great.
Yeah, I think some of it's confidence. I think the other is maybe just a common misconception that it's easier to build a business and hit a certain revenue number if you have a lower price point than it is if you have a higher one.
Yeah.
I run into that a lot about we only need 100 customers. You need 100 customers at your current price point. If you had twice the price point, you'd need half as many. Would that be better, easier to manage?
Agreed. Back when I was doing the Juggling Jeff shows, I had to do 350 shows a year. That's a lot versus 24 keynotes today, which is much, much easier on the body, I gotta say.
Yep.
So where do you think there's market, if we agree that market confidence and our desire to help are the three things, I wonder how we overcome each one of those. Hey, Sandy, welcome back. You're muted. No.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for carrying on. My internet just went out and I just disappeared into, I don't know. But you guys carried on a conversation. I was texting Jeff, so.
You wouldn't believe the things you would have learned from us in the past 5 minutes.
I know, right?
It's remarkable. Wait till you hear the recording. Oh, did we lose it?
Yeah, priceless.
No, but there were some good points. For real, though. There were some good points.
Well, seriously, share with me like some of the points you brought up, because this is a big deal for small business owners.
Yeah, I think some of it is just confidence in the services that we provide and not undervaluing our value, essentially, is really what we were talking about. And Tim was saying that he feels like a lot of the reasons why we end up underpricing is precisely because of that, this confidence or lack of confidence. I was bringing up another point, which was, I feel like sometimes it's because we think it's easier to grow if we have a lower price point than if we have a higher price point.
Mm-hmm.
I was just reminded of a client that I work with, and they're like, we need 100 customers in order to hit our revenue number. And I'm like, true, you need 100 customers to hit your revenue number at the current price point you have. But if you doubled your price point, you'd only need 50.
Yeah. Yeah. And in reality, isn't it easier to sell to 50 than to 100 or to
Yes.
10 than 50? Like,
If you do the right work, Sandy, you're
Mhm.
right. It is. As long as you're not targeting everybody and everybody, really fine tuning your target market, you betcha, 100%.
It's a real mental shift. And Mike McCall, he pressed me. He's like, now we're not going to get off this call and then you're going to go start pitching your normal price. And I'm like, no. So no, he's like, but you know, the stuff that you do works, right? And I'm like, yes. He's like, so don't you think that's valuable to people? And I'm like, yes, yes, yes. I keep telling myself, yes.
Can I ask a question about that?
Yes.
See what I did there?
Mhm.
That was a Tony Robbins thing.
Mhm.
How many times can you say yes? On coaching, historically, I have not posted on my website coaching prices because I want to invite the conversation first.
Yes.
But now I'm starting to think that maybe there's another way of handling that would be more effective
Mhm.
and also more valuable for prospects' time and my time if I just posted it. Like this is the price.
Yes.
What do you think about that?
Yeah, I do not disagree. So like for me, if I'm posting a program that is $9,500 upfront, maybe you can pay the $9,500 over time, but it's also $1,295 a month. It is going to save a lot of my time with the people who in reality actually can't afford it and aren't in a place to do it. So it will save time because on the flip side, it also will, people who see that and they're like, yeah, these people must really know what they're doing. It's going to inspire the level of client that I really can have a lot of impact for, to reach out, knowing, not assuming that I'm a freelancer, someone just out of college, someone who just started an agency 2 years ago, because there's a lot of that competition. There is not a lot of competition in this space at this price point for this ideal client. Yes, I think and I'm saying that, Jeff, because this price is not on my website yet. So we're in the same space as far as that goes, but I think I'm going to put it there. No, I am going to put it there.
Yeah.
Right?
There it is.
So yes, I do think that it weeds out the people that, and it's not devaluing them. It's just they're not in that space yet. And then it will attract the people who that I really do want to talk to and can have a significant impact for.
Yeah. I really appreciate that feedback because I think I was missing that second part where it's qualifying. And if I'm not putting the price on the website because I want everybody to talk, and I'm like, hey, don't self-select out with this preconceived notion of finance struggles. Like, let's get around that barrier and have a conversation first. I thought that was me helping people, but the reality is what Jeremy was talking about earlier, if I'm targeting a specific market, what we're talking about here, those people will resonate with what they see on the website.
Yeah.
And
Jeff, I'm going to invite you to come on the next call because we're going to do the ladder, the offer stack, the ladder itself on the next call. So you do have other things. This is the core offer. So this is the main thing that you do. And we're going to have premium offers beyond this, so even more expensive offers, but then we're going to have lower tier offers. And so the lower tier offers position you And so you can bring the value and invite the conversations only in different ways. So I'll just use my situation as an example. I do this visibility transformation challenge. The people who are on, it doesn't cost them a dime except their time. And what it does do is it brings them in my ecosystem, essentially, over time positions me as an expert at what I do. And so the people who might have balked and not got on a strategy call because they saw the $9,500 price point up front, they come into the ecosystem to learn for free, learn the things that it takes. And then they're like, you know what? I need to figure out how to afford this, because this is really what's going to make a difference in my business and move the needle to get where I need to go. And I'm doing it in a group setting. I've got 88 people in the visibility transformation group. I tend to have 5, 8, maybe 10 on the individual calls, but I get a lot of people to go back and watch them and then come and ask questions after the fact. So I still have a lower offer, but I'm doing it in a group setting where I can still do the education and have the conversations. It doesn't require as much of my time talking to 20 people for an hour at a time individually. Now I'm actually teaching, bringing value, and positioning myself and positioning them to understand the value that's in the offer. Does that make sense?
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah.
I have a recent story about this too, that we just did. Another client, they do websites, but just for optometrists, and recently worked with them to stand up a resource center, and trying to overcome an objection of the lack of understanding of an optometrist about marketing. A lot of times is what gets in the way of them making a decision to move forward with this company. And why don't we just teach them about it then? Mm-hmm. So the thought on this resource center is we're going to provide them with the 2025 marketing calendar, and we're going to give them topics every month that they can. It's a social calendar. Okay, so we'll get topics. We'll give them a design, some collateral pieces, captions, etc. We'll give them there's another piece on SEO that is just, it's the ins and outs of what SEO is. It's not heavily technical, but it is basic. It's just pretty basic. Mm-hmm. And another piece to it too. And then they can do all three as bundle, but it's free resource. We had 65 downloads in the last 3 weeks. Nice. Now we can drip campaign those folks. Mm-hmm. And when they're ready to pull the trigger on a website or other services that we provide as a company, then they'll have trusted us enough at that point. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, great. Well, thanks for carrying on the conversation while I disappeared momentarily. There's the winds just really pick. I'm up in Columbia, or actually in Millersburg, where my brother lives, because this appointment is here. And the winds they were supposed to get really bad storms here, and then something hit the house earlier. I jumped, and I think that's what caused the internet to go out temporarily. So anyway, I will carry on. So step 3, pricing the offer and justifying the value. So how to make it feel like the deal that it really is. A lot of times I say how to make the pricing feel like a deal. I want to say how to make the pricing feel like the deal that it truly is, because you are bringing that value. So you want to take the total of all of the components and then price your offer and then compare it to an alternative. So I've given some example here. So my final offer price is the $9,500 for the website plus the $1,295 subscription. And if I take all of those bonuses and value stacks, and especially this, never pay for another website redesign again. Businesses on average redesign their websites every 2 to 3 years. So let's just say a 10-year lifespan. So let's say it would be 2 to 3 redesigns over the course of the relationship, plus the other things. The actual value stack is around $55,000 that the business is getting, plus about $8,000 a month for 2 people executing the marketing plan if they hired them internally, and instead they're paying $1,295 a month and one time $9,500. So this is the positioning. You're essentially getting $55,000 in annual value
for $9,500 and saving an enormous amount of having an in-house marketing team do all the implementation. So as you're building your offer and looking at the bonuses that you're bringing, think of the pricing. And then, I feel like I have you guys all on board with thinking bigger on the pricing. And Mike McCallowitz, are you uncomfortable with $9,500? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, okay, then that's probably the right price. So let's go. I'm going to go on to the next slide because we're running out of time. So step 4, remove the risk with a strong guarantee. So this is a huge part of the offer. If you're pricing at the level that it truly should be, you also want to make sure you're eliminating the risk. So there are several different types of guarantees that you can provide. It can be a performance guarantee, where if you follow my program and do what I say and you don't see results, I will work with you until you do. Or the risk reversal is try it for X number of days. Those days are relative to whatever it is that you're offering. And if you don't love it, you get a refund. A lot of small business owners are afraid of the refund, but I bring out the different types of guarantees because it doesn't have to be a refund. Or a conditional guarantee. If you complete all sessions and don't get this result, I'll coach you one-on-one for free until you get the result. So a lot of different things you can do. So as an example, I'm thinking about on my guarantee, if after 120 days of launch, so of launch is my qualifier because it takes us, there's a good 8 weeks of onboarding. The new website goes live probably by the beginning of the 3rd month, the 9th week. So it's about a 6 to 8 week process of building the website and then getting the marketing going. So 120 days of launch puts me into about month 6. So I say 120 days of launch instead of if after 6 months, because that doesn't sound quite as good. But in reality, that's what it is. If after 100, because I feel by then at about the 6th month, going into the 7th month mark, we're going to start seeing some significant results because that's how long it takes. So if after 120 days of launch, you don't see a 30% increase in your leads and your site is on page 1 of Google, we'll cover the cost of your pay-per-clicks and social media ads until you do. In other words, if we, with what we're doing, isn't driving the leads or the visibility, then I can invest in ads in the short term to get them there so they're getting the leads and they are on page 1 until enough time has passed, because the competition is relative. If there's a ton of coaches in St. Louis that we're competing with to get up to page 1, it might take longer than that number of days, but that would alleviate a little bit of the concern. So that's just that is a conditional guarantee or a performance guarantee that I'm thinking about putting out there. It is not out there yet, full transparency. So what kind of guarantees could you guys do with your offer to eliminate some of the risk of the client's investment? So you want to document those, write down some ideas. And just because you try it doesn't mean that it's written in hard concrete. So try it and get a reasonable number of no's before you assume that it doesn't work. So we're going to just test, or maybe you split test. Maybe you try a couple of different guarantees in your offer and split test and see what resonates with people more. So we're working from our own assumptions, our own beliefs on what the customer values, but in reality, we might be wrong. So that's what the split test will do for you. But you should have some kind of a strong guarantee in your offer. And then step 5 is the call to action. So you want to make sure that it's crystal clear and easy. So what's the next step in order for them to buy? You put in all the work of crafting the offer, bringing the bonuses, justifying the price, and building in the guarantee. What is the next step if they want to work with you? And then another psychological thing, you don't want to make it up or make it a lie, but in truth, we all have capacity. So for me, I'm comfortable bringing on 5 performance program people a month. Not really comfortable bringing on more right now with the resources I have. So I feel pretty good about saying I got 5 spots a month, and once they're gone, they're gone. So I'll say click below to book your free strategy session to purchase before the 5 available spots this month are gone. Because once they're gone, you have to wait until next month or 2 months out, whatever the waiting list is. So what is the crystal clear call to action next step that someone does with you to close that deal? And then finally, just putting it all together. So here's the full thing. So the final offer statement formula is, if you're struggling with pain point, then your offer name will help you achieve X transformation without the common frustration that they're facing. For this price, you get plus this. And if you don't see this result by this time, I'll guarantee this call to action. So that's the formula. And I will put these slides in the Facebook group files. So if you didn't get all of that really fast. So here's just a crack at mine. Again, this is new. This is literally brand new, revamping this offer. It's not on the streets yet, but this is what I'm thinking. If you're struggling with scattered marketing that isn't driving results, the MSW Performance Marketing Program is the answer to help you develop a full long-term strategic marketing system that will drive leads, rankings, and conversions without flushing another marketing dollar down the toilet and being beholden to ongoing expensive pay-per-click and other ads for visibility. With this $9,500 website and performance marketing program, you get a new SEO and conversion optimized website, plus ongoing SEO, full year of content, marketing strategy execution, and 12 one-on-one strategy coaching sessions throughout the year. And you'll never have to pay for another website redesign or improvement again. If you don't see your leads increase by at least 30% and your website rank on page 1 of Google within 121 days or 120 days of launch, I'll cover the cost of your pay-per-click and social media ads until you do. Click below to get started. So that's just my first crack at it, and refine it, clean up the language and all of that. So I just wanted to show you an example of what this could look like as a new offer that you're bringing to the table. So that is all I got. I'm going to stop sharing, and we can close with thoughts, takeaways. I know Jeremy had to jump off. So Tim, what's your big takeaway or thoughts around this idea?
Yeah, you just basically bring to light my own stress that I've kind of known, especially, with me just getting started with the business and knowing that I'm underpriced. But you lay down the steps that it'll make it much easier to figure it out actually, and put the value to it and present that to future clients and even my current ones.
Yeah, absolutely. Clarabelle, do you want to add anything? Or if she put in the chat, I have to go in a few minutes and she's off camera. Mike, you're still on. Do you have anything you want to add? Okay, Tim, it looks like it's just you and I. Thank you. Thanks for showing up. And I will get all this stuff. I'll get the video out on YouTube, and I'll get the presentation slides into the Facebook group so you can access them. And I will see you on the next one.
Get better.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
You bet.
All right.
Bye.
Talk to you later. Bye-bye.